The Angels have called Anaheim home since 1966. Their stadium, nicknamed the Big A, is the fourth oldest in the major leagues, behind Fenway Park, Wrigley Field, and Dodger Stadium. The Halos Stadium lease is set to expire soon, so Long Beach is now making a strong pitch to lure them, with the ballpark proposal costing more than $1 billion. LA Times' Bill Shaken has been following the story closely and joins us now. Hey, Bill, thanks for coming in.
Good. Nice to be here.
Hey, tell me exactly where this is going to be, if it happens.
If it happens, would be down by the Long Beach waterfront. If you've ever watched the Long Beach Grand Prix, which happens every spring, cars go racing right by where this ballpark would be. What they're looking at now is a site they call the Elephant Lot, because when Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey came to Long Beach every year, the elephants were in the parking lot.
Is that true? I read today that the team almost located in Long Beach in 1963. What happened?
The Angels had shared Dodger Stadium for the first 4 years of their existence. It was not a peaceful coexistence. Gene Autry, the Angels' founding owner, said, I got to find my own place. So they ended up in Anaheim. But first they looked at Long Beach. And when they negotiated with the city of Long Beach, the city said, you know, we want you to be called the Long Beach Angels. And Gene Autry said, nah, I'll go to Anaheim.
Well, now we are really looking at a possibility of going to Long Beach, because the negotiations with Anaheim have sort of fallen apart, right?
The Angels had the chance last year to exercise an out clause in their lease. And it was basically, get out now or you're committed till 2029. So the Angels said, let's get out now and let's see what's out there. Now, we know now that they had already been talking to Long Beach a little bit. Not that they had a deal in mind, but
flirting.
At least they knew they had leverage.
Yeah.
And leverage, as Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels, liked to say, leverage is the American way. So now they've got two choices. Anaheim has said, we want to wait on negotiations until we can get an appraisal of the value of the land where the stadium is. So we know how much is this land worth, whether it's for baseball or something else. Long Beach has said, let's jump on into negotiations, but the Angels certainly are not going to just talk to Long Beach and not talk to Anaheim. So we've got a few months more to go.
Long Beach really got excited after the city commissioned an architecture firm to do a study, and they saw what potential there really was. They want it to be like LA Live, right?
What the architectural firm had done for the city, this was last year, is to say, look, here's this area, it's by the waterfront, it's beautiful, it's a little underused. What ideas could they come up with? So they took actually a picture of Angel Stadium and they overlaid it on the site. They took a picture of LA Live downtown in Los Angeles, overlaid that on the site. What would happen, though, is that the actual parking lot itself is probably too small for some of these uses. So you need to knock down, for example, the Long Beach Arena, which is right next door. If you've driven by, you see this circular building with whales on the outside that Weiland painted. That's the arena. It's been there forever. That probably would have to come down. And obviously there are people in Long Beach that are not going to be in favor of demolishing a building that's been there for some time.
But we do know that these waterfront baseball stadiums are a big success. San Diego, San Francisco, right?
They are. Now, the trick in San Francisco is that it revitalized a neighborhood that was pretty much decaying. That isn't really the case in Long Beach. Long Beach downtown, to the credit of the city, has already been revitalized. So the question is, what other options can you provide, both for the residents who live around there and for people who might come in and be tourists?
Speaking of residents, has anybody been taking the temperature of the residents in Long Beach? Are they really gung-ho for this?
It's a little bit hard to say because the city's been very quiet about what they're proposing. So you can't really go to the residents and say, here's what this would mean, here's how the city's going to pay for it, because we don't know. I can tell you, though, that one of the big concerns in Long Beach, and this would not just be about baseball, would be traffic. Because in Anaheim, if anybody's been to a game at Angel Stadium, you've got the 57 freeway, you can see it from the stadium, the 5 freeway, the 91, the 22, there's a train station in the parking lot. Long Beach would have none of these advantages. There's basically one freeway, the 710, that goes in. The blue line comes down from LA, but the Angels fan base is from Orange County. So that would be one of the challenges in putting together a proposal. How do you handle all this traffic?
And what about the residents in Anaheim? Will they fight for their team? Will they be loud and noisy about it?
I think in Long Beach and in Anaheim, there's a similar question. If the question is, would you love to have the Angels? I think in both cities, the answer is going to be yes. The question is, how are you going to pay for the stadium?
All right, Bill, we're going to keep an eye on it. Deadline? Any deadline for the negotiations?
The Angels say they would like to have an answer by the end of the year, and they probably have to. I don't think it's just talk, because their lease in Anaheim expires at the end of next season. So they got to figure out where they're playing, and if they are going to leave Anaheim, they're going to have a really tricky thing, which is, can you negotiate a short-team deal to stay in the stadium where you're leaving?
Who knows? Thanks so much.
All right.
Bill will continue to follow the story, and you can read all about it at latimes.com.